Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. So today's topic is remote access of a router and switch. So how do we access remotely our routers and switches in the network? So that's what we are going to see in this video. So let's begin with the topology. So I have just given you this topology over here. So this is with the IP address. All those things have been already mentioned here. So we are going to configure them as such, and then we are going to check whether these two below users, user 1 and user 2, is able to access the internet router which is on the right top corner. So that's what we are going to see. So, and in between you can see they are in two different networks. The users are in a different network, 192.168.10.0 network, and the internet router is on a different network, which is 172.16.10.2 10.0/24 network. So how we are going to access this router, we are going to see. So let's configure the IP addresses that I have mentioned in this topology one by one on all the devices, and then we'll proceed further to get the remote access. So let's begin. So I'm just configuring the first router, user 1, with the IP address 192.168.10.1, and I'm going to the second user, which is a laptop. There also I'm going to give a IP address 192.168.10.2 with a subnet mask as /24, and the default gateway is the router IP address, interface IP address 192.168.10.254. So now go to the router. So in the router you have the interface GI0/0, on which we are going to configure 192.168.10.254/24 subnet mask, so that this will act as a gateway interface for the two users down below. So you can see the IP address has been configured now. So let's go to the internet router, which is on the top right corner, and configure the corresponding IP address connecting the gateway. That is GI0/0 with the IP address 172.16.10.1/24 network. So you can see the show IP interface brief. It is up now. So let's go to the router again, and then interface GI0/0, and then 172.16.10.254 network on the right top corner. So I mean, we are trying to configure the back-to-back connection of these two routers, gateway and the internet routers, in this topology. That's what we are doing. So now you can see the IP address has been assigned on the internet router as well, and you can see the interface is up after we configured on both ends. Yes. So now let's go to the let's try to ping the interfaces each other, whether we are able to ping the gateway from the internet router, and from the internet router try to ping the gateway. Sorry, and from the internet router to gateway, and from the gateway to the internet router. Basically, we are trying to achieve the connectivity between all the devices here. So that's how we are doing. Now we are going to see how we can connect the internet router from the user one. So we are able to ping the gateway, but we may not be able to reach the internet router. You can see the ping and check ping 172.16.10.254 on both the users. It will not be able to ping it. So you can see that both the user, I can show you. So pinging the internet router from the user end is not going to happen right now with our current configuration. So that's what I'm trying to show you this. So let's begin pinging the gateway, at least 192.168.10.254, and check whether the gateway is pingable. So gateway is pingable. So you are able to, as a user 1 and user 2, you are able to reach the gateway easily. So that is the 192.168.10.254 is reachable. Okay, sorry, here I mistype, I mean the typo. I mistyped the gateway IP address. So anyway, it's pinging now. So let's go to the router again and check the route. So why we are not able to reach the internet router from the user is, one thing is route. So you need to provide the routes on the router so that we will get the reachability of the internet router. So just put a show IP, I mean just put a show IP route and check, and then do a default route configuration to reach the internet. Normally this will be configured on the gateway, so we have configured it, and go to the internet router and do the same thing like to reach your users. So you need to have a route. So just put show IP, I mean just configure IP route 0.0.0 0.0.0 with the gateway with the exit interface as 172.16.10.1, which is on the other end of your internet router. So now try to ping. You will be able to ping from the user end. User 1 is able to ping the internet router. Similarly, user 2 is also able to ping the internet router. So you can see here it's pinging. So now, but still, let's check whether we are able to telnet the internet router from the user 1. So you give telnet and you may not be able to reach it. That's because you need to configure the telnet configuration on the router, which is on the internet router, which we are going to access it remotely. Just go to the router and go to line VTY 0015 on the global configuration mode and assign the password as Cisco and login local, and then exit it and create a enable secret password and a username and password for logging into the router. So then you go back to the user 1 and then now try to telnet the internet router which is on the remote from this user 1. See here, you are able to reach the reach the internet router remotely. So you can provide the credentials which we have configured recently, and then we are able to get the remote access of the internet router. So you can see you will be able to provide any kind of commands like monitoring command, show commands, and even you can configure them as you like since you have the full access of this router remotely. So go to the user 1 again, and then check whether you are able to okay, let's do one thing. Let's change the host name of this router as an internet router. That is by accessing it remotely on the user 2. Just go to user 2 config mode after connecting the router and just change the host name as a host name space internet router and then exit out. So now go to the other user. Let's say let's try to connect that. Let's try to connect the router which has been changed with the host name. Now you can see you will be able to see the connected router host name has been changed and you are able to access it remotely from the user. You can see that. So show CDP neighbor you can see the neighbor command, I mean neighbor information as well. So now show IP interface brief will also give the interface status as well. So you can see anything since you have a full information on this router remotely from the user end. So exit out. So that's it. So this is what like you can just do a remote access from this end users to reach the internet router by configuring these line VTY as well as the routes, necessary routes. So you can see here this is the command which I am trying to give. So you can see the telnet is not able to, I mean I have just typed a wrong command. So let's go to the router again and then give line VTY password. So what we are trying to do now is we have two routers, right? You can also have a remote access for this gateway router as well. So that's what we are trying to do. So we are doing the same kind of configuration what we have done on the internet router to this gateway router as well, so that we can remotely access this gateway router. Now go to user 1 and then check whether you are able to reach the gateway router. And similarly you can also go to the user 2 and then check by telnetting the gateway router, and you can also check the ping as well. If you ping the gateway router you will be able to ping it obviously, and then try telnet gateway router IP address and you will be able to get the remote access of the gateway router. Once it asks for a password, username and password, provide it and provide the enable secret password, and that's it. You get the router's access. You can do some changes as well. You can change the host name since you have a full access to this router. So you can see the host name has been changed, and when you go to the other user and check, since it was also configured with the remote access, you will be able to see the router there. So now you can see the router's host name has been changed by using the other user end. So this is how you can do a remote access configuration in your network. And then why do we go for this remote access network? Basically to manage these devices remotely. So that's why we have given a remote access remote access to these devices. So both these users 1 and users 2 can access these routers and switches remotely by configuring the line V2I password, what we have done so far here. So I hope this video is useful to you, and thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe, like, comment and share your friends.